We're all partners. Absolutely. We have a beer and some glass of wine. And you know what? Nothing like coming down from CFBD, some good wine, right? So there you go. Thank you very much. We have an esteemed audience. We have people who are police officers of repute and who have done this for a living. But we as technology partners want to make sure that we are truly being partners. So there are no competitors, they're all partners and consultants. I love you. Mr. Prasad, you really hit on the points. You're a very quick learner, so you're saying 2 months, but everything that you said, I can definitely say it resonated with everybody at the police agencies and for sure with the technology partners. I know whatever I'm speaking out here today will really try and pick apart, because as Mr. Murthy said, they got 5-10 minutes to really try and connect what's happening. The big talk these days is smart cities, right? Big talk. Everybody's talking smart cities, and we need it. Right? But I think all of us will agree, for a city to truly be smart and successful, we have to be safe. And that is what is the agenda out here. We have to be safe. We've got to make sure that people feel good about it. That's why people live in apartment complexes. Right? But when we talk about mega cities, we always talk about the cities growing. There are more metro lines, more roadways. NCR is growing, for example, where we are today. But the population is changing. It was said earlier, 90% I would say of mega cities. Mr. Prasad mentioned about 6 mega cities and of course Delhi. I would say 90% of those populations have cell phones. All of them have cameras. All of them probably are on Facebook. Some are on WhatsApp. If you look at the monthly average use, there is enough data to show that in India, the second largest Facebook users are there, and the second largest WhatsApp users. And there's enough talk that people get up in the morning and first check their Facebook, then their WhatsApp, and then they talk about newspaper and good mornings and namastes and the prayer meeting. So that's how this world is changing. In the midst of that, I still have that slide open out here. In the midst of that, excuse me, how do we get this computer going here? Still well, still like that. In the midst of that, we are trying to say is how do we work urban security? And look at that. Information is everywhere, right? And I won't go down the list, but we talked about 21 different agencies, Ambit, Vahan, you name it, it's growing everywhere, but information is everywhere. Capturing it is just the start. And I think given that, I'll pick up on a very small segment that you mentioned, command and control. And it's given that we have this 5 or 10 minutes, try and hit on some key points and maybe walk you through what's happening. It's not a Motorola speed. Motorola can do it, but it's a trend that we recommend that we as residents of mega cities and small cities embrace. Again, we have experts, police officers of seniority sitting out here, but as a resident and working with you closely, I'll speak to it. Today, this is what happens in a command and control room. A resident like me makes a call, gets into 100 caller, the caller receives the call, wants to know about where the location is, understands it, passes it to a dispatcher. I'm talking of mega cities, small cities, it could be all together. The dispatcher tries to create a challan, we call HALA, reports in different places, and moves it to a PCR van. This is what's happening right now. And all these different points of people are asking for more. From the likes of Mr. Prasad here, we talked about Mukesh Chandra, all of other police officers out here. The citizen is saying, hear me with voice, but also hear me with text and WhatsApp. The call taker is saying, find me better ways that I can find out the location. Because one of those calls when you're really distressed, people can't even see the metro pillar in front of them. Give me better location. And I think Major Mozumdar had mentioned some suggestions out there. The dispatcher is saying, the dispatcher is getting queued up, help me out here. And the PCR van is saying, give me more information so I can be of value. So what we are probably saying out here is, in this core time, how can we make the response better and the response more effective? The suggestion is on how do we get the police, what we are calling out here the central police control room, become a part of resolving and making this response better. It's not in any way turning it down. Still, it's call taker, dispatcher to the PCR van. But if we can start better using this information source that we have, whether they are databases. Yes, sir, there's National Grid coming up, but there are good databases around still today. If you're sitting, I'll talk Delhi because you're sitting in Delhi today. I'm sure the Delhi police has access to a lot of good databases, put them to use. They could go across different boundaries and look at that. It doesn't have to be RTO, it could be Vahan, it could be Passport, it could be NCRB, it could be AMBUS. Have a chance to get the context going out here. Have a separate dedicated team that's really looking and driving towards that. And we'll walk you through an example. There's different video feeds coming out here. Video walls was mentioned. I think video walls is a good concept, but it's proactive policing. If you're sitting in the command and control, what's the big thing you want to do? You want to see what you're seeing out there. Whatever is value, you want to make sure the first responder gets it. That is what the command and control person wants to do out there. That is what they will feel that they had a good day at the command and control room out here. So we're talking about historical data, and we give you some examples out here. Consolidated video, radio, which remains a core part. We talked about communication upgrade. That there is a dedicated person to making sure that our response is more complete and more effective. Let me show you an example. And I realize the time is out. Here's a scenario, and I'll go through it quick, but hopefully you'll get an answer out here. I'll start with the dispatcher. The callers come in, the dispatcher has got the call. He or she has got some added agencies like added effective tools like computer-aided dispatch or IMS to get more context to what's going on. This is what the dispatcher is doing today. 100 call received, challan initiated, 100 call attended. I'm giving a use case. ISB, yeah, they up because in Delhi, suspect identified, call shots happened out here. He wants to make sure he's moving quickly and getting this challan moving forward. He sends it to what we are calling out here. He sends it forward to the PCR van. But why did he send in the PCR van? There's another, what we call the Central Police Control Room operator who is also watching what's happening in Delhi. Now this could be regularly, it's not coming up there on the screen. It's a regular screen. He's just doing what's happening, what is going on. It's a regular day for him. But suddenly his sensors, you had mentioned about acoustic sensors, tell him that there is a shot fired in ISBB. As you can see out here, it doesn't point out, the acoustic sensors light up. And it's not big deal, so this is not New York or London happening. This can be happening right here in Delhi. We have the CCTV cameras, we have the 3G, 4G networks, we have the technology skills and system integration abilities out here. It's right away lighting up the cameras right around where the scene is happening. In addition, it is telling you what is the Twitter feeds that are happening. Twitter, Facebook, people are loading up quickly. Today you look at it, whenever an incident happens, there is always somebody recording. In fact, I would say as police officers, you guys need body-worn cameras because whenever I see an incident, leaving the police person and everybody else is recording information, right? So you better have something on your side also. That's one thing else for a record coming to you, so body-worn cameras. We'll help you with that. And so we got that happening coming out here. If you see there's a car in the corner that you can't see on the screen out here, that car has already been given information about the facial recognition that has happened. We've gone down further, we are finding out, okay, where was this person in that area? Can we go and talk about ANPR? You're absolutely right. We don't have standardized license plates in India. As a result, the ANPR hit rate is in the 50–60%, and we can argue about it all the way to the drinks tonight. But it's still an added value tool that we can provide out here. We can look at saying, by the time the PCR van is responding, the people in the PCR van have much more information. And this again, ladies and gentlemen, can happen today in small and big towns because one thing that's really changed in India is 3G and 4G. Telecom has come up. We have to start embracing those technology aspects that can be made to happen today. And there are enough technologies that can adapt the bit rate to what is going around to make sure there's data and video being sent, because you're approving things like MDTs, mobile data terminals in different agencies around the place. It's happening. The latest tender that came out in Mumbai asked for picture intelligence unit, which was a very forward-looking play. It's basically doing so what you talked about, integrating different databases, making sure police officers are more secure and sure about what they're doing. And it doesn't stop there. The question is, command and control. If somebody's on the foot on a beat who's responding out here on his smartphone, I can provide the same information. So basically, whatever the call taker got,
the dispatcher hat, the PCR man hat is getting more complete and more information. And this can happen for India today. Again, this is not something for NYPD because we keep hearing about that.
Manish?
Yes, I got a minute, and this is the last slide, Mr. Modi. So we have to suspect out there information is being moved around, and it's being given the whole amount of information is being moved from the first responder, it's coming out in a smartphone, or I'll move it quickly to the command and control places. People, police chief, the SHO, the additional commissioner for that particular district, like again talking Delhi, got 30 different zones out here. That command and control information can be across the board, again, to make the response quicker, which is what us citizens and residents want, and make it more complete. So those things can be applied today for command and control, and can be made to happen on a quicker part. Our friend from ONGC had said step-by-step approach. This is a step-by-step play to make what we call, an optimal Delhi or a mega city happen out here. So I'll finally end by saying that my current job makes me interact with police chiefs around Asia and the Middle East. And one enterprising police chief had said that policing, there are 4 Ds to policing. And I won't go to the 4 Ds to policing. They said it's demanding, it's difficult, sometimes it gets dull, and it's for sure dirty, right? But by embracing technology, ladies and gentlemen, we want to be on your side to make sure technology, this policing is effective and efficient for the citizens of your respective cities. Thank you so much.